Coach Heyward, you're talking to Travell over here. We finally got to talk to him. Talk to us a little bit about Travell Dixon.
Travell, man, got great size, man, and just trying to get some urgency in him. He was redshirting last year, so he was with the scout team mostly, and now he's in my meeting room and playing our defense. So he's starting to get a little bit more and more comfortable and learn all the intricacies of our defense. So he's somebody that I hope to compete in this fall and get in the rotation. He definitely can do that, but we just got to take it one step at a time.
For the layperson, can you just explain a little bit? Like Coach Cazzetto, he wants everybody along the offensive line to play every position. Mm-hmm. How hard is it for a corner to go over and play safety and go from outside to inside? How tough is that?
At corner, it's more technical. Safety, you have a little bit more reads. So for a corner to be able to go play safety, the safeties make the call. So corners got to be a little bit more assertive. They got to be able to recognize the sets and then make those calls and be ready for any adjustments that happen pre-snap or on the fly. So all of the guys are in my meetings. I make them all responsible for knowing the calls. So it should be a little bit more easier, but it's just more of, are you vocal enough to make those calls, and then are you confident in the scheme so that you can make those calls and do it on the fly.
When it comes to want to, is it easier to get a corner to go over and play a little bit of safety, or is it easy for a safety to go over and play a little corner?
As far as want to?
Yeah.
It's different. The safeties, going down to play corner, they have to be more technical, and corners going back up and play safety is a little bit more cerebral.
Yeah. And you played corner in college, right? Yeah. Did you ever turn over and play safety?
Yeah, I did.
And how hard was it?
It was easy because at corner you have to react to everything. You can be more patient at safety. So as far as coverage, that was easy, but then I always studied the game, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I knew all the calls, so I could make those calls.
And how you feel about the depth that you have this year compared to a year ago?
I feel good, just trying to find somebody to replace Desmond, so, we got to find a guy or a couple guys to see if we can replace the productivity we got out of Desmond, but I think we got good depth, and I think we got a good solid foundation, and I'm excited about the three guys that we have coming in.
How has Travell come along?
Coming along good. Like I was telling Kim.
You kind of saw him prior to Alabama and prior to
Yeah, I recruited him to my other school, from Eastern Arizona. So, yeah, he has the ability. He just now, he wasn't working all our techniques and all the concepts, but now he has a chance to do that. And I'm just looking for him to do it consistently and then play with a little bit more urgency.
He said he would give himself a C so far for how he played. Is he being hard on himself, or is it just kind of
take that's fair. I think that's fair. That's good for him, and I think that's fair. I expect a lot of my guys, so that's a fair evaluation of himself.
You mentioned in that spot. Who all do you had to set the other people at that spot so far? At corner, yeah. Who else might stepping up for Desmond?
It's just going to be by committee.
Yeah.
Marcus Peters has some time, but he's going to, he's in that rotation. Cleveland Wallace, Greg Ducre, Travell, and who knows if some of those younger three guys will come in and help us. So. And Darian, he's got the yellow jersey on. So we got some guys there, but we got to find somebody who's going to want to do it full time and be consistent.
Is that something? Probably going to go deep into fall camp to find that, or
it would be great if we could find out this spring. But the time will tell.
Did you think Dixon getting used to Seattle and being so different would be as an equal challenge to him figuring out what he needs to do on the football field too?
I'll say this: when you have a JC player, sometimes, and I'm not saying anything bad about JC coaches at all, but sometimes there's a little bit more freelance. JC guys are not as disciplined, so they have to come in and be more disciplined to play at this level, and every player has to do that as the higher they go when they're playing. So that, and then learning the defense, because he had his JC, then he went to Alabama, then he came here, but when he came here, he was just on scout team, and he was just, hey, do this, play third, play halves. Wasn't really taught a whole lot of technique. So whatever coaching that he had prior, he didn't really get my coaching until this spring. So yeah, it's a big transition, because JC guys kind of you're just looking at guys that come to fill in a spot, but at the same time, they don't have a whole lot of structure there at the JC, depending upon what JC they come from.
Do you think that's part of the reason that he came here is that he'll end up getting a chance to prove he's a legit corner versus just an athlete or just a general DB that he could be cover guy and he's going to get pushed in this conference in that regard?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say, but also, he and I had that relationship. He could have went anywhere. He could have went anywhere. I got a call, and then he ended up choosing here. Education was one of them, and then the opportunity to play, and then he and I had a good relationship. So, but with all that, he'll the opportunity to show his skills, in our scheme. I think that was part of it too.
How close were you with him at Oregon State?
I recruited him.
Was it close to he might have?
Oh, to going to Oregon State? Oh no, he shut me out. He was big time to me then. But he was a good kid at the whole time through, and he was honest with me, and so I respect him. That's why I ask honesty. Either you're interested in the school, you're not. Don't waste my time.
Yeah. So did he kind of call you then after you left at Alabama?
I'm sure that I was called. Oh, and then at that time,
yeah.
Well, yeah, when it was all falling through, I got word, and then he gave me a call, and then it kind of worked its way out to him coming here. We watched the film as a staff, and Coach Wilcox also, when he was at Tennessee, was interested in him too, but I guess he got shut out also.
Was he a little sheepish the second time around?
No, he was. His head was spinning, because you can imagine his world was probably turned upside down at that point. But he was fine. He was humble.
With the recruiting class that you've got coming in, Coach Sark had mentioned that he was looking for guys that were a little bit longer, a little bit more physical, that could come up and play the bubble screens, maybe a little bit like what Richard Sherman and Brandon Browner are doing at the Seahawks. Do you have anybody on the team right now who's kind of fits that mold?
Mold right now.
Yeah,
that's not here. Or
yeah,
those guys
that's here right now.
Oh yeah, look at Marcus Peters and look at Travell. Those guys can do that. Absolutely. Cleveland is not as long, but he can get it done. So yeah, those guys can do it. Now, if you look at Darian, who's just a little bit of a smaller guy and shorter levers, and that's on the lower end of that spectrum. But Marcus Peters and Travell Dixon, absolutely, I expect that out.
Thank you.